We are back working on the Monterey. We're going to hopefully finish up some of the exterior work we still need to do to clean this up. So in the previous videos we got the whole bottom coat redone, as well as the outdrive on the back of the boat. Now we're going to focus on the upper half of the boat and clean up some of this gel coat. Overall plan is to completely polish the whole top half of the boat, that way we can get everything cleaned up. But before that we still have some work we need to do. Obviously everything's extremely dirty, but we need to sand and finish this back deck and finish up painting there. And then there's two main spots we want to fix. So we have a bunch of spiderweb cracks here on the back corner. So we're going to end up grinding all this down, hopefully filling in all these cracks and grooves, and then repainting that. Here's a little test spot I did to see what the polish will do. I think it took me maybe 5 minutes to do this little spot, so it wasn't as good, as in-depth as it should have been, but you can see that it already brings back the color in that green. So we're gonna end up doing that to the whole boat, but we'll finish up that part in the back first. I'm not gonna mess with anything on the green areas just because I don't have gel coat that matches this, so I don't want to repair it and then not be able to paint it. And then the other main area that we need to focus on is going to be on the bow of the boat. Looks like whoever had this before me ran it into the jack quite a few times, and we got a bunch of chips in here that we're going to end up filling in. This side's not as bad. This is just kind of dirt that's on there, but we'll end up cleaning all that up, filling all these chips in with the new gel coat as well. This side of the boat isn't too bad. There's still some black scuffs. I'm hoping we can try to wet sand that out to help make it not as visible. And then again, we can just polish it and kind of blend it in there. Some scuffs here in the green, which isn't the end of the world. I think a lot of that'll come out when I clean it again. And then there is one little crack right here in the gel coat. I don't know if we're gonna repair that as well. But right now we're gonna be going for the bigger sections and trying to clean this up. Once I pop the cover off, there might be a little bit more work to be done up top on these parts. I can't remember exactly what they looked like. I haven't been up there in a couple months at this point, so. But we're going to focus on those main spots for now. Again, in this video, I think we're going to do a lot of the prep work, get all this stuff sanded down and prepped and ready for paint. Same thing with the back deck, and then hopefully in the next video we can go through and actually finish painting all that stuff and get all that stuff situated. Alright, so first we're going to start off with the back here. We're going to use a Dremel with one of these little rounded tip bits, and we're just going to go over all the cracks in the gel coat just to get rid of it all. It's going to end up looking like this at the end, just little gashes in the gel coat, and then we'll end up filling all that stuff back in. So let's set the tripod up and let's start cleaning up all these cracks. Came out pretty good. So didn't want to cut down too far. I just wanted to get the visible crack out of the gel coat, and then we just went and taped everything off. That way we don't get any of the paint on spots obviously we don't want it to be on. So next we're going to rub everything down with acetone and clean it off, and then we'll get ready to start mixing up that gel coat. I have this new stuff, it's called colloidal silica. I'm probably saying that wrong, but we're going to mix that in with the gel coat to help make it a little bit thicker, so that way it's more of like a putty than a paint. All right, so everything's cleaned off. We're gonna mix together the gel coat. So we're gonna do about 2 ounces of the white gel coat again, and then we're going to mix in some of this colloidal silica. That way it'll hopefully thicken it up, and then we'll put some resin in, or some of the hardener in there to help harden that up, and then we'll mix it up, and then we'll start smearing on the boat here. Got done putting all the paint on. We're gonna end up pulling all this tape off just so that way the paint doesn't stick to it and then mess it up on the way off. So I'm gonna peel that off real quick, and then we're gonna let this dry overnight. Alright guys, it's the next morning. Paint is nice and dried up. So you can still see the grooves where the actual like notches were in the fiberglass or in the gel coat, but I'm hoping once we sand this down you won't be able to see that. And worst case, if we do, once we sand it down, we'll just end up throwing another coat on there to kind of fill it back up. But looks pretty good. Color match is a little bit off, but I think once we start to polish the original gel coat, that'll help it blend in a little bit better. Front's looking good as well. Again, same thing, you can see all the little divots in the gel coat, but once we sand that down and polish it, I think everything will be just fine. So we're gonna get out a cup of water. We're gonna start wet sanding this. Not sure how good you're able to see this on camera, and of course it started raining, but I think we're gonna call this good. Came out pretty good. There's a slight discoloration, which I don't know if you can even see on camera, from where the new gel coat is compared to the old gel coat, but once we go through and polish everything, it should hopefully blend all that stuff in. We do have one spot right here we still need to touch up. We didn't put enough gel coat there, and it ended up wearing back down to the crack, so we might just re-hit that spot to clean that up. And then we started wet sanding some of the other parts of the boat. So there used to be that marine logo here that I peeled off. Tried to get rid of some of that stuff. We went down the side and different areas and hit a lot of those little black scuff marks that we saw on the green and on the white. So majority of that stuff is gone. You can see how dirty this thing is already just from sitting outside, but got rid of majority of that. Looks like we missed a spot right there. We'll go back and get that. Front of the boat, not perfect, but a lot better. There's no fiberglass showing anymore. This was some, it looks like a repair from somebody else in the past, but got rid of majority of those big chips and dings. There's two right here that we might have to hit again, but again, looking a lot better. Same thing with this side. We got rid of all the scuff marks down the side of it. Missed a spot there. We'll come back and get that. Oh, and missed a spot there too. So we got to get this thing cleaned up before we polish it, and the only issue with that is I got to get it all moved back up front there so I can get the hose to it. And then honestly, I'm debating on figuring out, I don't know how we're going to do this back part. This gel coat is a pain. I'm not the biggest fan of using it, so I don't know how we're going to paint this whole back deck and make it look good. It's going to take a lot of time to get this all cleaned up, but weather is not cooperating with us lately, so it's definitely making it a lot harder to get all this done on time. But I think for now we'll call the gel coat repairs on the rest of the boat good, and then we'll be back in a couple days here and we'll start working on the rest of it. All right, a couple days later and we're back. We're going to finish working on the boat. So we got the gel coat all cleared up back here, so we're going to work on getting everything polished up now. We're going to start here on the left side, and we're going to go all the way down front, back to front and get everything all polished up. We're going to focus on obviously everything above the black bottom coat. We're going to try and get everything to shine again. I did hit a good bit of this with 3000 grit sandpaper just to try and take off any of the imperfections in the surface of the paint, which took out a lot of the discoloration as well. So let's set the tripod up. We'll get the polishing compound all set up, and then we'll start getting this all cleaned up. Well, turns out these Amazon pads aren't the strongest. This just happened. Well, it's time for a new pad. I don't know how easy you're going to be able to see it because it's on the shade, but this side's coming out pretty good. It's not the perfect polish job, but it's definitely a noticeable difference. I didn't really see much of a difference when I polished the white part, but the green though, kind of see how shiny this corner is, and this is what it started as, so looks way different. Didn't do this side just yet. You're not supposed to polish in direct sunlight, so I'm gonna end up having to spin the boat around and then do this side back in the shade, but overall not too bad. came out pretty good. There's definitely might be some spots I got to touch up here and there, and then once we get back inside of the boat, I got to clean up these top ledges here and try and shine those up a bit, but looks pretty good though. We got the front all touched up over here, so we can finally put on our boat letters. We'll throw this side on for now. We'll hold off on the other side because again, we didn't finish that side just yet, but we'll get those added on there. And then I gotta find the registration sticker. So in the process of me moving, I can't find the registration sheet for it yet, so we'll put the boat numbers on for now. We'll get those on there. Yeah, pretty nice. Once I get those registration stickers, or once I find them, I'll get them slapped on there. But like I said earlier, I think we're gonna wrap this up for now. We got the whole left side done. We'll hit the right side off camera tomorrow. Once we can get this flipped around and back in the shade, then we'll clean that up. And then just a couple updates on some stuff we still need to knock out for this. Need to detail the inside again because that's gotten pretty gross since it's been sitting. I think the last main thing we got to do is this back deck. So I was thinking about it. I think we're going to tape the edges off, and instead of using the white gel coat that we've been using for the repairs, I think we're going to end up using the non-skid paint that we actually used for the floor on the inside. We'll do a nice tape line. We'll rub that down, or we'll paint that on here. I'm worried if I use that gel coat, it's not going to be smooth and it's going to be really hard to get it nice and flat and look good. But if I tape off a square and then I paint this with that non-skid, it'll be a little bit textured. Obviously it'll be better so it's not slippery when wet, and then you don't have to worry too much about the imperfections in it. So I think we're going to end up doing that for the back. Once we get that all painted, we'll put in our new step. Still have that up in the compartment. Just been waiting to put that on there. So, and I don't know if you remember, we should have plenty of non-skid from when we did the floor left in that can. So we'll get that all taped off and then lay that down. What else? This trim, still trying to find this online. So obviously there's a gap there and a gap here. I don't know how that happened. I don't know if somebody cut it or if it shrunk or what happened, but I need to find a replacement piece for this. It's literally just a little molding cap that goes in there around this whole trim piece. Only problem is it's one continuous piece around the entire boat. I think this is a 23-foot boat, so we're probably gonna need about 60 feet to get the whole loop. I just can't find the right size molding piece, but we'll keep looking for that off camera. We'll see if we can get that on order. That'll help fill that little gap. And then I think that's it. I mean, we still got to rebuild that one seat up there, and then it just needs a really good detail. I was planning on selling this before I moved back, so I did do a nice deep clean on it. However, it's been sitting under the cover for about 4 months now. So you know, it's sitting underneath all these trees, so it got pretty messy pretty quick. I think I'm gonna go pick up a bigger tarp too, like a legit tarp, to put over this as well, just to kind of help keep it out of the sun. I'm gonna keep all the dirt and debris out of it. That snap-on cover works, but there's a bunch of voids and cracks where stuff gets in there and it just kind of becomes a mess. So I think that's gonna wrap it up for now though. Pretty happy with how the results came out. Can't wait to see the whole boat polished. This back corner came out really nice. You could still see if you get up real close, you can kind of see the discoloration in the paint, but at a quick glance you can't see it at all. I don't even know if you can see it on camera, but compared to what it used to look like before, night and day difference. It looks so much better. But yeah, that's gonna wrap it up. Hope you guys are enjoying it, and stay tuned for the next one.